Hello everybody, and welcome to the 10th episode of Collector's Link News, where we take a look at all the recent news in the Disney Cars Diecasts world, from new releases to, pretty much just new releases, and the new cars that have been coming out over the past few weeks. Today's episode has quite a lot of stuff. It's the most stuff we've had in a while, and it's going to be a pretty exciting one. So we're going to start off with the new multi-packs. Now, these were found by Jim Scavenger, and there is a World Grand Prix 5-pack that includes Alberto and a few of the other race cars from the World Grand Prix. And a lot of people do not like Jeff because this is his first ever release out of China, I believe. We still haven't gotten a Thailand version. They jumped straight from China to Vietnam for Jeff. And then there's also another multi-pack that includes just some standard Cars 3 releases. There's Jackson Storm, Cruz Ramirez, Sheldon Shifter, Cam Spinner. I'm not sure why they haven't corrected Cam Spinner. I mean, they corrected Ponchi Wipeout when they re-released him in that 11-pack. So I'm not sure why, even though they've re-released Cam twice now in multi-packs, they still have not corrected him. And I think that's a big shame. Moving on from the multi-packs, we have, what do they call it? The mini racers. We have 5 new mini racers that have been revealed. We're going to start it off with Francesco Bernoulli. This will be the second, the second Cars 2 mini racer that we're getting after Artist Ramon, which was in one of the most recent cases of mini racers. Who else is there? We have Jim Reverick, the Carbon Cyber Racer, getting a re-release. Pretty exciting. We have Flip Dover, who we've seen teased a few times, well, once. It was in my prototype posted on I believe it was one of the Thailand Facebook groups. It had, it was a Christmas HJ Hollis, which is coming out in the mini advent calendar this year, with a flipped over spoiler, so they kind of teased that a few weeks ago. And you also have my personal favorite, Brian Spark, who looks just phenomenal. I'm glad to see that we're still getting more of those mini racers of actual racers. Those are all apparently going to be singles found by Trunk Fresh Green 34, and he apparently just kind of found them by accident while looking for some other stuff, so good for him. He also happened to find the mini racer George Nguyen, which we knew has been coming out for months now, but this is the first time that we've actually seen him, kind of teased. And a lot of people you only have a singular photo of him, but apparently he's going to be in a 10-pack, as you can see. The listing on a Canadian distribution website says that he is going to be in a 10-pack, which is interesting. And the picture almost makes him look metallic, so maybe this could actually be a metallic George Nguyen, although I don't know if that could be a possibility. It does look slightly metallic, so maybe we would be getting a single mini racer George Nguyen, and then we'd be getting a non-mini racer George Nguyen, or not a non-mini racer, a non-metallic George Nguyen, like a metallic and a non-metallic. I don't believe that's what's happening. I think that the mini racer normal George Nguyen is just going to be exclusive to that 10-pack, which hopefully will actually hit the United States, since the other two, the one that includes Steve Slick LePage and also has a new Ramon variant, I don't believe those have been super common in the US so far, so hopefully we can actually get those down. Now this week there's a lot of stuff that's been coming out over the past few weeks, including the but I mean it's all small stuff that kind of adds up into one big inferno of cool stuff. You had the new Radiator Springs Classics cars that were revealed right after I put out the most recent Collector's Link News episode 9. So you have all those. You can see them right now. You had the original case, which had Sheriff, Ramon, Mater, Sally, and McQueen. Then later you also had Doc Hudson, which came with a Piston Cup trophy. Next up, continuing on with the George Nguyen stuff, Rocket racer George Newman has been found by JS Cars 8 in Canada at a Walmart, so he is now officially out. Now he was revealed with the UPCs along with what's his name, Eric Breaker. There's an XRS Rocket Racer Eric Breaker. There's an XRS Rocket Racer Ed Trunken, which we saw teased at the Toy Fair earlier this year. We have an XRS Rocket Racer. His name is, what's his name? Oh yeah, Michael Roeder is also getting an XRS release. So a lot of cool next gens that'll be coming out as rocket racers in the coming few cases. But yeah, George Newman is the only out of those who have actually been found so far. So it's unknown if he is in that case by himself or if there's more that's in that case that he didn't find there since they probably would have been gone. We can see him here. Here he's unpackaged, and then he also has a photo of him loose. And he looks a lot better. And then on the back, you can actually see his artwork, which I don't. It's according to Trunk for Screen 34, the Rocket Racers, the UPCs and listings and all that, do have clickable links now, but they do not have photos, and of course they're not available till order yet. So that is pretty cool, and you can even see in the front of the packaging that you actually use George Newman's actual name. So they didn't use it on the XRS Racer, the mud racing one. They didn't use it on the Walmart release. So finally, his name is confirmed if it wasn't confirmed already from his Tomica release. Now moving on to the next, and I believe it's the final story. We have John Haulstead, who was found by Jim Scavenger, of course, in Arizona. The two reported cases of him being found, I believe, are both in Arizona so far. There might be some in other ones. I haven't. The two ones that were up on eBay when I checked were both from Arizona. But you have John Haulstead, Eric Breaker's hauler. And he is a new batch of UPCs, not a mystery hauler that was in one of the old cases. So I wonder what will happen to Cruz Ramirez's hauler, which we've seen images for. And everyone, I don't even think a whole lot of people know that exists. There is a Cruz Ramirez hauler, next-gen hauler that is supposed to be released at some point. Not a playset. This is not a playset. This is an actual hauler. But John Haulstead looks absolutely phenomenal. You can see even here the back, you have all the art and all that. And I did a little bit of research, and he is named after Pixar employee John Haulstead, who has worked on a lot of the Pixar movies. So great to see that they're still continuing on with that trend of naming their new cars after Pixar employees, and that is hopefully a good sign for the future. That we'll be getting more, next-gen haulers. I actually think all the next-gen haulers look really cool. There's like a scene from a fly-through, which is an extra scene where you can see all the haulers and you can't make out them super well, but you can see them all in this photo here. And John Haulstead just happens to be one of those haulers that's actually not in that scene, which is unfortunate. They could have released Richie Gunz's hauler, what's his name, Barry DePedal's hauler, both which appeared pretty prominently in some of the other scenes, like Chip Gearing's, I believe his hauler somewhat appeared. Like you can see in the LA 500, there's a lot of trailers you can kind of see up close. Yeah, it's been a pretty solid few weeks in the past few days. I mean, the 5-packs are, alright. It's nice to see a re-release of Alberto since he hasn't been released since 2014 as a single. Fun fact, he replaced Frank Clutchenson. Yeah, he kind of canceled a pretty rare car. You can even see, on the card backs of some of the 2014 Race Fan Series, you even have Frank Clutchenson on the back of those, which, kind of shows that, yeah, they were planning to release him, and then Alberto canceled him, which I'm not complaining since Frank Clutchenson isn't too hard to find on eBay. He's pretty cheap still, and Alberto is a completely new release. And yeah, as I said, been a pretty few solid weeks, and hopefully there's some good stuff to come. So anyways, that pretty much wraps up this episode of Collector's Link News, episode 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this this episode, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.